language delay.
Right, okay.
Okay, and we differentiate between a hearing loss, a kid that's just going to speak later, and many very bright people, Albert Einstein didn't speak to, I believe, 4. My brother was very bright, didn't speak. He was 4 years old, and he invented word processing, so maybe he's better writing it down than talking. From autism, the first step that I take from my many years of practice is that I always make sure the kid hears okay. So we try to get someone in your profession to evaluate the kid and say, the kid hears, and the term we use are adequate for language development. First of all, what does that mean? And what would you do if a kid 15 to 18 months old to say to me, it's not the hearing, it could be something else. What would you do in your particular field?
Once the audiological evaluation has been conducted and hearing loss ruled out?
You have to make sure you do your part. What would you do with a kid 15? What kind of a hearing test you would do? What observations would you make and get the kid referred in?
I understand. Every complete audiological evaluation consists of a test battery and a number of different ways to evaluate the ear and the hearing in that child. And they all kind of have to make sense together. So there are a number of computer-based tests that we'll use, completely objective measures of structure and function of the ear itself. But we will also use more subjective methods of testing, observing the behavior of a child in response to a sound. What we want to rule out is any kind of hearing loss at all. Mild hearing loss, temporary transient hearing loss, unilateral hearing loss, because any hearing loss can potentially impact the normal language development of a child, and many hearing losses are not readily observed by a parent, by a pediatrician, by a teacher. Many hearing losses, many common hearing losses, like the kinds that are associated, for example, with middle ear problems in children, ear infections and fluid in the ears, those often go unnoticed and sort of explained away by parents, pediatricians, and teachers by saying, he's just not paying attention, he's just a little kid, he's busy with something else, they'll think of all kinds of ways to explain it away when in fact it was a hearing loss. So particularly if there's a concern about a speech delay in a young child, and even if they pass their newborn hearing screening, they need to undergo an audiological evaluation to conclusively rule out that that's not part of the problem, that's not going to be a contributing factor in their speech delay. As a matter of fact, I'll often tell parents that my role in all of this is to make sure that hearing is never the thing that gets in their way with respect to language development.
Your final conclusion, I always see these notes that says, hearing adequate for language development. That's the term we use. That means that you've checked different frequencies and the kid hears enough. Is that correct?
Definitely.
So this should not be the reason kids not making verbally type of responses. Is that correct?
Absolutely.